Don't skip the self-interview. These 5 questions can help you save thousands. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about what questions you should ask so you can kind of figure out where you want to go, whether you're leasing or listing or buying or living or whatever you want to do. So we're going to kind of just go through these question by question and talk about what points we think are the most important to them. So the first one is figure out your financial goal. Like, what is your financial goal? Do you want to have cash now? Do you need income later? Are you looking for liquidity? Are you holding for passive income? Defining passive income, that's money that just shows up in your mailbox, right? Like that you shouldn't have to work for it.
That rent check.
Yeah, you want that rent check. If you want income later, that usually means like we're going to sell it and have a big lump sum later, but you got to hold it for a little bit of time first. Maybe do you already have a house that you're living in and you're trying to decide, should you keep that one and buy another one, or should you offload that one for the funds for the next one? What other kind of, financial goals, I think it's pretty self-evident of like what is your financial goal? Anything else you want to add to that?
Every family's different.
Yes. How old are you, right? Like,
how old are you?
If you're a young, risky person that has plenty of time to make up for your mistakes versus someone that's in your senior stage where you're trying to figure out if you're creating a legacy for your family or not. That's going to make your decision different.
Do you want to live in a certain location? Are you
what
building it around
the
school for your kids? Are you building it around your house or the job that you want to go?
Yep.
Some people, they got to live within a mile of their job site. Others, they specifically do it for schools. I know that when we were younger, we focused on the school. Others, they want to be in the country. Some want to, they got to be downtown.
Those don't lease as well, though.
So,
the country houses don't lease as well.
They're tough.
They're tough, yeah. So if you want a country house, you're probably going to hold that for a long term and legacy and pass that down. So that helps you make those sort of decisions. So then that leads you into, how long are you going to hold the property?
Right.
Because everyone could technically hold the property for the 30 years, but we see on average 7 to 10 years people are moving. Does that mean they hold it or not is a different question, because moving away from the property and keeping it as a rental are very different. You could hold it for 30 years. When you look at the portfolio of renters you're working with right now, what's kind of the length of time that they've owned these properties?
As far as the tenants are concerned, you're looking at tenants that are usually they lease it for 2 to 3 years, and then they're wanting to buy a property.
Right.
They're saving money for that.
Right.
On the flip side, on the owners, we typically have owners that will keep them for 3 to 5 years.
Okay.
And then they'll start thinking about whether they want to get out of the rental business or they want to keep it, keep going. Our investors, they're buy and hold. They're just going to keep them forever.
Until they fall apart and they got to knock them down.
Yep. So that's kind of our two.
It's a really personal question to have too. Like, how long do you want to hold this property? If it's, like you've mentioned in the past, if it's older and needs more maintenance, you maybe don't want to hold it as long, unless you do maybe a full renovation and it's practically a new house, right? Then you might want to hold it longer.
Right.
But if it's a brand new home, you might be able to hold it even longer because it has less maintenance up front.
Right.
So it just really depends on what your goals are, right?
That's right.
It's a great question. So then that puts us into, okay, what's the current market doing? Because that really can adjust how things are treated in the market.
Yeah, we're getting more and more rentals. People are moving more and more because of the economy, because of what's going on right now, job-wise for them.
Right.
They're wanting the rental market.
Yep.
So we're seeing that grow quite a bit.
Are you seeing that from a tenant perspective needing rental properties, or from owners coming to you?
Owners coming to us.
Okay.
We've never had a problem getting tenants.
Right.
You're always going to
say that one more time. Say that one more time. Everybody's so worried they'll never have their house leased out.
You're going to we'll get tenants for you.
Yeah.
It may take a
Some
month
time.
or two.
Yeah.
Right now we're going through a period where it's tougher finding the tenants, but we
Well,
will
it's
find a
fall
tenant
right now,
for you.
and so
Yep.
a lot of people got settled for school. They don't really want to move before holidays, like where we're at in
Right.
this current market. But when spring market, obviously, it just
That's the bonus time. That's it.
exactly.
Yep.
I've seen a lot of techniques where landlords will, if they do sign a lease in fall, they want to add a couple more months to it so that it will end in spring. You see that often?
We've been asked
Yeah.
a few times to do that.
Just to kind of not
Yep.
have to be in this. So you don't have to always be stuck leasing out in fall if you don't like it, if it doesn't work out as well for you. So, okay, so current market, whether it's a buyer or a seller market for buying and selling properties, but also there's kind of like landlord and tenant markets, I would say.
Yes.
There's a lot more inventory for rentals, then it's kind of a tenant-friendly market. If there's less inventory for rentals, then they kind of
Works the same way.
it works the same exact way. So they kind of go along. Right now, we're seeing in this current market, we have a lot of inventory and not enough buyers, but you're seeing more inventory and still enough tenants.
Yes. I mean, one thing like in the Dallas-Fort Worth market, we're seeing a lot more houses being built. Mm-hmm. You're getting a lot of new, like
Multifamily or single family?
single family.
Right.
You're getting a lot of whole neighborhoods getting built, and that's increasing we get a few investors that like buying new construction houses, but you're seeing more and more houses on the market. So you got it lowers
The demand.
pricing.
Yeah, it's lowering the demand, so you have to lower the rent.
The competition's much greater
Until they all get leased up.
Yep.
I mean, your window for cycles can switch really quickly.
Yes.
Because as soon as they're filled, then all of a sudden you got demand again.
That's right.
Whereas on my side, inventory takes a while to catch up one way or the other. We usually go from a seller market to a balanced market to a buyer's market and buyers to balance. So there's always a period of balance that happens as it's transitioning. We've been watching that go on since March this year. We're finally now kind of getting into pretty much buyer's market. Unless it is priced right, which any property, lease or list, is gonna go fast if you price it right.
Yeah, I mean, I got all kinds of war stories about pricing. Well, we have a lot of owners that, I got to get this price because they're only thinking cash flow.
Yeah.
And I'll tell them, I can list it whatever you want, but don't get mad at me when I start telling you we got to lower the price and we
Right.
get back to where
You originally suggested.
I told them
and
you
then
need,
the
you need to be
carrying
here.
costs for the last 2
And,
months that they had to pay.
That's one of our conversations to go. If we would have accepted $200 less
right.
over, now you got three months
A vacancy.
a vacancy there. You lost out a whole lot
Thousands
more.
of dollars.
So it's a game you got to play.
Right. When life hits hard, late payments, medical bills, job loss, or even the need to move quickly, many homeowners feel trapped. The fastest way out seems to be selling to a cash investor, but that means giving your home away for pennies on the dollar. You don't have to do that. Nearly half of homeowners today are equity rich, and that value belongs to you. With our One Move program, you can unlock that equity immediately, get cash in hand now, and still share in the upside when your home resells. Or, if you'd rather, we'll shop your property to multiple cash buyers so you can choose the best offer instead of settling for one low bid. Go to DunnDealOffers.com and discover the smarter way to get cash fast without losing the equity you've worked so hard to build.
To those who take the risk, who bet their life savings, their blood, sweat, and tears on a rental property to make a nice place for someone to live and a nice living for themselves. To those who get this call or no call at all. To those who keep adding more properties, it will all be worth it for you and for them. You care about preserving your investments. So do we. Real Property Management.
And then the question is, do you want to actually be a landlord or not? Like, I think most people don't want to be a landlord, like ideally, right?
We're getting a lot of new landlords.
Yeah.
And they're scared to death. And I try to preach to them that this is all a trust.
Right.
When we're first talking on the phone, I go, this is an interview process. I'm interviewing you, you're interviewing me. We're trying to see if it's a good fit for either one of us or both of us. And you got to answer their questions. You give them. I tend to give them more information than they ask for, but
Same.
to try to build that relationship. And usually by the end of the conversation, they go, "Oh, you might. I feel a lot better about it now."
Right.
And they still don't. I mean, they don't sign on the dotted line right there. We got to. They want to shop around, so they'll talk to some other people, and most of the time they come back to us. They go, I liked what you said. I trusted you. Let's move forward.
Right.
And it's just a waiting game.
Yeah, and it's sometimes they have to learn on their own that they don't want to be a landlord. They realize how time consuming it can be, the emotional aspect of it, because it's a lot of times they're accidental landlords, right?
Yep.
And so they care about the home more versus maybe an investor just buying a property for their portfolio. So there's that emotional side of it. There's a legality side of it. There's a lot to do with fair housing and making sure you're treating it. You got to abide by the property code. There's so many little nuances to it that if you're not doing this every single day, one, why do you want to learn it? Like, nobody really wants to learn it unless
That's
they're
why
maybe.
you hire people that, or you talk to your realtor and find out.
Get your time back. Get your time back, your sanity back, and get that cash flow check. Because otherwise, to me, it's not really a passive investment at that point. It's a really noisy passive investment if you're going to be the landlord of it. And a lot of time, it's not worth the quote-unquote money savings you're going to have in the long run. I think if you actually looked at how much money you make per hour and then apply that to how many hours you spend managing your property, that it would make way more sense to work with a manager 100%.
One of my biggest quotes to them is, how valuable is your time? And if you're having to, and what would you do in this situation? I give them a few situations about, okay, 2 days before Christmas, 3 o'clock in the morning, you get a call. How are you going to handle that?
Right. Are you even going to answer that call because you're dead asleep and not even be realizing who would call you at 3 in the morning?
But if you don't answer that
you're
call,
in big trouble.
Your house could get severely damaged.
Yep.
So we go through those scenarios, and we give them comfort that we got a whole book of vendors.
Right.
They're on call. They're even in emergency situations over the holidays.
Yep.
We
people,
got it taken care of.
Real people that you know that are going to be there. So that kind of leads into risk tolerance. Like, what sort of risk tolerance do you have, and like, do you want to deal with the tenant issues and all those things the things that scare people about not wanting to have a rental property in the first place? Like,
to me, the hardest thing for the rental market is dealing with people, dealing with the tenants, dealing with the owners. You're caught in the middle. Mm-hmm. You're trying to be the middleman and try to do the right thing for both parties.
Right.
And it can be pretty tough sometimes.
Well, and that's just the tenant side.
It's a very emotional. If something's wrong with the house, it's very emotional because the tenant, this is an emergency for them, not necessarily an emergency, so to speak, but for them, that's their number one issue right now.
Right.
And then you got to go to the owner and say, okay, it's not a major problem, but it's something we need to address.
Yep.
And you just try to work through the rat hole.
Well, you've got the tenant risk, but then you also have the property risk, because some people can't afford to replace the air conditioner if it goes out, or if the water heater dumps out, or if your insurance policy on your house says you have a 2% deductible on your roof, and the roof has to get replaced because we had a whole bunch of storms come through. So if you don't have those kind of slush fund cash options, maybe it doesn't make sense for you to have a rental property right now.
Correct.
Especially because we don't know when a storm is coming through in Texas. And they say there's storm season, but I feel like it's all the time except for like 3 whole months out of the year sometimes.
You get major rains at some point, and then you get tornadoes at some point.
And hail,
and
you don't know where it's going to land. So if you don't, and our insurance rates have gone up. Before you could get a 1% deductible on your house for hail and wind damage, and you can't really anymore. I'm seeing 1.5%, 2%, 3%. I have a house right now with a 3% roof deductible, and it's a teeny tiny little house.
Right.
And a lot of times people will try to save money on their insurance policy by upping their deductible, not realizing what it actually means. So make sure
may save you a couple $100, but it may save you
it's going to be thousands of dollars on the back end and deductible. So I think it's really important to run through those scenarios to help you come up with, should I do this or not, to know what you would be out of pocket if you did have to take care of some sort of major item that you can't control. Like you can't control if those things happen. Unfortunately, I mean, I heard they're making air conditioning units that will tell you now if it's starting to fail, but I don't think everybody has one of those yet. But until then, it's kind of like it's the heat of summer and all of a sudden it's not working anymore and you need it fixed emergency style. And you don't want that happening with tenants, because then that's also probably maybe a safety issue too. If it's too hot in the house, you got to make sure that.
Depending on the time of year.
Yes, exactly. So those are some really great questions. So what's your financial goal? How long do you plan to hold the property? What's the current market doing? Do you even want to be a landlord? What's your risk tolerance? And once you've kind of answered those questions for yourself, that's kind of the next step, is then come talk to us and start picking the plan and the strategy. And the great thing is you don't have to do it today if you talk to us. Like, we can build out plans over time. We're in this for the long haul. So it's like, if this is your 5-year plan of what you want to start implementing, we can help you build that path. So when it does become today, you're ready for it versus being behind the 8 ball on it.
I signed an owner last month that we had been talking for 6 years.
Yep.
6 years. And they finally called me and said, hey, it's time to do it.
That's always exciting.
Oh, yeah.
It's really exciting. Well, I think that kind of ends today. Yeah, I think that's a wrap for today. So make sure you ask these questions and it'll help you kind of pick the next step.